Alright, 4.4. It's supposed to be smaller. Multiplying. If I'm writing, you should be writing. So you should be writing this on your piece of paper. Every single day, you should have notes that on the top say 4.3, 4.4, so you can go back and look at your notes. This is a huge important thing that you need to be doing. We have done a very poor job of it this year. And there's a reason that we're struggling right now. We're not good note takers. 4.4. Multiplying
Mixed numbers.
Mixed and whole numbers. Sixth grade, you guys can all go back to your seats.
What's that hashtag?
Sixth grade, you can all go back to your seats. Hashtag is another name for the number sign. It's also called the pound sign. So you guys usually know as the hashtag. It's also known as. I am still talking, please. It's called the hashtag, also called the pound sign, also called the number sign. So it stands for whole numbers.
Also, like
Cassie, in your seat, I said. Kevin, your knees should be underneath your desk. You're not facing other people. Braden, your knees should be under your desk. You're not facing other people. You guys can put your heads down for the rest of the class if you want to. I don't care whether or not you're working on work right now as long as you're not distracting other people. If you want to waste your time, then you're the one who chooses to waste your time. No, you don't get to work on anything else. You can work on math homework or put your head down and not do anything. But you do not just get to waste your time and waste other people's time. What?
Can I go back and do it the one?
No, because you cannot do it without making noise. You can go through it by yourself, or you can work on nothing. You can work on math facts by yourself if that's how you want to choose to use your time. I gave you guys a choice. If you're going to disrupt my math class and the YouTube video for those who are watching at home, then that is what your choice is. I respect it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I respect your choice. I'm done with giving you guys the chances that you don't know how to use. Sorry, you do know how to use them that you choose not to use. Yes?
I know what the 1.1 first one assignment is.
Great. What does that have to do with what I just instructed you?
Because I can tell them it.
Well, he had chances to talk to people and he didn't use them. I am done giving you guys his free chances.
I asked everybody and they all didn't know.
I don't care at this point. I don't. You guys have all this stuff on Google Classroom. I spent hours every week creating this stuff for you guys. If you are not willing to go and be independent outside of school, then good luck being successful at something. I do not spend hours on doing that so that you guys can just say, oh no, I want to go home and play video games or watch YouTube videos or screw around and do other things. If you don't want to be successful, that is your choice. Every single person in this classroom has the ability to go on Hangouts and send me a message. Ask their parents to send me an email because they're not understanding stuff. I will make the extra effort, but you have to make it first on your part. If the only time you're making an extra effort is when we're here in class and you're complaining because, oh, well, I don't have any other choice because I'm under Mr. Bernow's control. That's not working for me.
That's a lie.
What?
I meant like that's a lie that we can't do stuff because we're under your control. You let us do stuff.
When I mean let do stuff, I mean that they don't have any choice. That you guys, when you're in the classroom here, a lot of you versus when your behavior at home, you're like, oh, I have to be working on schoolwork here. Versus at home, you're like, oh, Mr. Bernow's not here. I can do whatever I want. That's what a ton of people in this classroom act like every single day. And if that's the choice you make, that's the choice you make. But I am not going to waste more of my class time and other people's class time telling you to be quiet over and over and over again if you cannot figure out how to whisper to somebody when you have a question on something. What?
What's the difference between a common factor and a factor?
Do you think I'm going to answer your questions when I've already interrupted 5 minutes of my math class to tell you guys to stop talking to each other?
No.
No. You can figure stuff out on your own, look at it in your math book, or just put your head down and do no work. I honestly do not care at this point. All I care about is that you're not interrupting my math class with them. You choosing to waste your time is your choice. Wasting their time is not a choice I'm okay with. Alright, anyways. 5th grade, going back, 4.4, multiplying mixed and whole numbers. Can I have somebody read top page 177? Bryson?
There are 6 students in a group. Each student works 1.5 hours on a group project. What is the total amount of time they spend working on the project?
Okay, so when you guys looked over this yesterday, don't raise your hand if you didn't do either of them. If you did method 1 when you were looking at this yesterday, raise your hand. If you did method 2 when you were doing this yesterday, raise your hand. Okay, method 2, this is what you were supposed to do yesterday in class, reviewing this by yourself. So we're gonna go over both of them, but basically what we have is we have 6 students, each of them working 1.5 hours. So it's 6 times 1.5. So, yes?
Can't we like switch them also?
Yes, you can say 1.5 times 6. Either one of them is fine. 1.5 times 6. That's called the commutative property in math, meaning that you can move things around. It works for multiplication. It also works for what?
Division.
Nope, not division.
Adding.
Adding. It works the same for addition, and it works for multiplication. So we're gonna work with this one right here, 1.5 times 6. So it says, hey, you've got 1 whole, and then you've got 1/2. 1 whole, 1/2. 1 whole, 1/2. 1 whole, 1/2. 1 whole, 1/2. Good? What?
What would is one hole no matter how big it is?
So this is maybe not the greatest way to do it. Your book does a much better example of it where they show like, hey, this is like, that's like the other thing. But yeah, 1 whole is 1 whole no matter what it is.
So it can be big and it can be small?
Sure, if I said, hey, I've got 1 whole pen right here, then that's 1 whole pen. Hey, if I've got 1 whole person over here, that's a lot bigger, but it's still 1 whole. It's just depending what are you talking about 1 whole of.
So like one whole smartphone?
Well, 1 whole smartboard would be big, obviously. Yep.
One half the smartboard is half of the smartboard.
So anyways, that's it, right? 6 times 1.5?
No.
Why not?
Oh, because you actually have to multiply.
Well, what's wrong with what I wrote on the board? I said 1/2 times 6. What did I put on the board? Yep.
You put.
I said, can you please stop?
What?
Don't.
I was just gonna say that there's supposed to be 6 of
Yeah,
them.
there's supposed to be 6. I only put up 5. You guys all fail for not noticing.
I did.
Do you notice you have to point it out? That's the thing. When I make mistakes, I almost always make them on purpose so you guys can find the mistakes. If you don't find them in class, that tells me you're not doing very much critical thinking, meaning thinking for yourself. You're just trying to do what other people say that you should do. Nose. You needed it too, didn't you? Huh. So, how do I figure out what 6 times 1.5 is? Well, I've got 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole, 5 holes, 6 holes, right?
Mm-hmm.
1. I'm just gonna cross them out when I count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How do I figure out how much more I have for each of them? Yep.
You have half.
What?
You have half.
I have a half, so when I cross out both of these, then I have
1 whole.
1 whole. So I'm just gonna say plus 1,
I was gonna say to add plus 2.
well, plus another 1, and then
Plus another
Plus
one.
the one.
So that makes
Wait a 6 plus 1 is 7. 7
9.
plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9.
can you do this for your whole assignment?
Yeah.
You absolutely can.
Oh.
Absolutely you can. However, that's what method 1 is. You guys draw out individually them and then count them up 1 by 1.
Is that?
Draw them out individually. By the way, if I'm writing, you should be writing. Everyone should have this written down in their notes already. I am not someone, unless I can see that you're really paying attention, I'm not gonna be waiting for you to write down, waiting for you before I move on to the next thing. So that is method 1. Method 2 would be, you just do 6 times 1 and a half. So we know how to do fractions times fractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just do multiply straight across, right?
No, that's not what we're doing here,
You're right, it's not what we're doing here. Why not?
Because you have a whole number.
He's the one I'm talking to right now.
Because it's different.
Why? What's different about it?
Because it's a whole number.
Why are we moving across the classroom?
Because I can't see it from my desk.
Okay, then you should be asking.
It's a whole number times a fraction.
Because it's a whole number times a fraction. And what's wrong with this? This is what type of a fraction?
Improper.
Nope.
Proper.
Nope.
I don't.
It's a mixed
Mixed number.
Can we just multiply numbers time a mixed number?
No.
What do we have to do with the mixed number first?
Simplify it.
It's already simplified. 1.5 doesn't get more simplified.
Right.
I'll give you a clue. We can turn this into 6 over 1 times, well, we need a fraction. Where it's got a number on the top, number on the bottom. We've got a whole number and a half over there. What can we do so that it's actually going to work so we can multiply? Yeah? Yeah?
You can't do that. You have to erase all that. You have to simplify it. 6 over 1 you can't do.
Yes, you can. 6 over 1 is the same thing as 1.
No, you have to. The denominator has to be higher than the numerator.
Yeah, but we could turn it into what kind of a fraction?
Mixed.
It's already a mixed number. Improper. Improper fraction. How do we turn a mixed number into an improper fraction?
We divide line.
Multiply what times what?
The top by the bottom.
Nope. The denominator times the whole number. That's not a very good multiplication symbol. The denominator times the whole number, and then you add the numerator. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is
3.
over 2.
I did this.
Think you've got 1 whole and then an extra half. Does that work? Does that work that same way for turning every mixed number into a fraction?
Yes.
Improper fraction? Yes. Think of another mixed number. Let's go 2 more mixed numbers, yeah?
2 more mixed numbers is.
No, you give me 1.
2 over 1/3.
Nope. You don't know what a mixed number is if you said 2 over 1/3. That is not a mixed number. Yep.
2 and 1/3.
Yes, 2 and 1/3 is a mixed number, and I need one more mixed number.
4 and 5/5.
4 and what?
5/5.
5/5?
No.
5/5 is 1 whole. You might as well just say 5 at that point. 4 and what?
6/5.
6/5 is an improper fraction. If we're trying to have a mixed number. So you'd have a whole number and an improper fraction. You don't want a whole number. I mean, you can turn that into something else. The process is the same, but I don't want to get people to get confused.
5/6.
5/6. So what do I have to do with this one to turn it into an improper fraction?
3 times 2.
Raise your hands. Look what I did before. I did 2 times 1 and then I added 1. So what do I have to do here? I'm waiting for more hands. I did 2 times 1 and added 1. What do I have to do here? This is not hard, folks. I can take second graders in here and they can tell me what I need to do. You take the denominator times the whole number and then you add the numerator. Denominator, so what do I need to do? You can literally just repeat what I just said. If you cannot repeat what I just said, then I don't know what we're here for.
Multiply the denominator.
No, I did not ask you to talk out of turn. You can put your head down for the rest of class. Everyone's hands should be up at this point. What do I have to do? I have to multiply the denominator times the whole number, add the numerator. Everyone's hands should be up.
I'm cleaning my glasses, Carter.
Alexis, what do I have to do? Right here, I just said 2 times 1, and then I add 1. Denominator times the whole number, add the numerator. What do I have to do here?
You have to do
The bottom of the fraction times the whole number, add the top of the fraction. What do I have to do here?
you have to times the whole number.
What?
You have to times the whole number.
What times the whole number? What? The bottom number times the whole number. What do I have to do?
You have to times the bottom number and the whole number.
What's the bottom number?
3,
And what's the whole number?
2,
What's 3 times 2?
6,
Okay, and then I have to add.
1 and 2.
So I have to get that. It equals 6. And then I have to add what?
The 1 and 2.
No. 1 and
1 and 6.
1 and 6. So on the top I should have?
6,
No, because I just added 1 to it, you told me.
1.
6 plus 1 is 1.
No, 6, 7.
7 over,
7 over 6.
no, what's the denominator? What's the denominator? Do you know what number this is?
3.
Okay, why did it take that long for you to answer? Okay, we're gonna keep on doing these. We might as well just do this the whole rest of class. The whole rest of this lesson is not important if you guys don't know how to turn these into other fractions. So the rest of you guys can just copy stuff down off the board. 4 and 5/6. 2 and 4/7. 3 and 2/5. 6 and 1/3. Every single one of them needs to be done on all of your papers.
Okay.
When you're all done with all of them, then we will move on to the next thing. But there's no point for us going on to the next thing if you guys don't know how to multiply fractions. Denominator times the whole number, whatever that is, add the numerator. That goes on top, the regular denominator goes on bottom.